Hello everybody, especially to our senior high school freshmen who are taking up oral communication in context. How are you? My name is Teacher Kenneth and I am here today to discuss on matters very much related to communication, of course. In our last episode, we talked about the nature of communication and the various elements that are involved in the communication process. I hope I had somehow helped you understand how communication process works. Well, we know so much that we spend 80% of our waking hours communicating. And 1/3 of that is through speaking, like having a conversation, a dialogue with somebody, or a formal speech. The rest are done through written communication, like chatting through messengers or responding emails, while others are done through non-verbal modes like facial expressions, movements, body gestures, and others. While it is a fact that people communicate every day, we do not just communicate because we feel like doing it. In reality, we talk or we communicate because we have a purpose. Today, we will talk about the functions of communication and their importance to our day-to-day activities. So, let's cut to the chase. There are 5 essential functions of communication. The first is regulation and control. Regulation and control as a function of communication means being able to use language, gestures, and emotions to manage or curb out attitudes and behaviors of an individual or a group. They are indispensable to the proper functioning of societies and economies. They underpin markets, protect the rights and safety of every citizen, and ensure the delivery of public goods and services. Laws and ordinances are perfect examples of controlling and regulating function of communication. Try to imagine a world without laws. What do you think would it be like? Well, needless to say, the world would be in trouble. It is dangerous. Therefore, laws are important because they provide a structure for society. They tell us what we can and what we cannot do, and they provide consequences if we break them. Without laws, society would be chaotic and people would be able to do whatever they wanted. This could lead to violence, theft, and other crimes. In our school, for example, what do you think would happen if there are no policies? The same thing would happen. There would be anarchy, disorder, troubles. So you see, through regulation and control, the world would be a better place to live in. Second function of communication is social interactions. Man, by nature, is a highly social animal, and I would like to believe that everybody is going to subscribe to that idea because we cannot afford to live in isolation. We love to talk about practically anything under the sun. Social interactions are central to communication between members of the same community. They have an important function in society, for they allow members of a community to socialize and encourage a sense of belongingness. The pandemic, for example, has taught us so much lesson about the importance of social interaction. It gives us all the more reasons to keep our sanity intact because it is essential for our mental health. Third function of motivate is motivation. This is when the speaker's purpose is to persuade or to try to convince another person to change his or her opinion, attitude, or behavior. This is different from regulation and control, where the speaker simply directs others and insists on his or her own agenda. Well, motivation allows us to express our thoughts and ideas with the use of encouraging words. In that way, we can motivate them to live better through communication. Common examples of motivations are the rags to riches stories, success stories, or simply appreciating someone's good works even become motivation. The fourth function of communication is emotional expression. Emotional expression is simply the acknowledgement of these emotions which are built to feel. It can be verbal or non-verbal and can occur with or without our self-awareness. Emotional expressions include facial movements like smiling or scowling, simple behaviors like crying, laughing, or saying thank you, and of course more complex behaviors like writing a letter or giving gifts. Healthy expression allows us to understand emotions, truly feel them, and move on. Well, of course, there are 6 basic emotions humans are born with that we should all be able to recognize. These are anger, fear, surprise, sadness, disgust, and joy. The fifth function of communication is information dissemination. Information dissemination is the means by which information, details, or facts are distributed to the public at large. Examples are news broadcasts, press releases, sharing information through media platforms, presentation of research outputs. Well, of course, our being Marites makes us an everyday agent of information. You see, everybody is a potential information disseminator. So, these are the 5 basic functions of communications. To wrap it up, these are regulation and control, social interaction, motivation, emotional expression, and information dissemination. In our next episode, we will tackle on the different factors affecting the flow of ideas in the communication process. In this paradigm, we call it barriers of communication. So, that's pretty much it for today. I hope I was able to give you some valuable lessons about communication. And before I end this, allow me to say thank you for taking some of your time watching this video. See you in our next episode. God bless us all.